Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the breakdown. It is Wednesday, September 4th. All 30 teams are in action today. It's going to be a great day. We're going to look through every single MLB game, look at the starting pitching, look at how they're doing against righties, lefties, runners in scoring position, strikeout percentages, everything in between. If this is your first time watching the breakdown, sit back, relax, and if you want to jump through the video and just go to certain games, I have them all timestamped down below. Hopefully, you guys have been enjoying them. We have the NFL starting up soon, so I don't know how many more breakdown videos we will have, but hey, I've still been enjoying doing them for you. And it's always a great way to jump into the slate, look at the kind of bare bones, and maybe dive into some things a little bit more. So we're going to do just that. Let's go into them. If you ever need any sign-up bonuses or things like that, all those details are down below. A lot of different daily fantasy apps like Underdog Fantasy, Parlay, Play, PrizePicks, Sleeper, all those have a bunch of free squares given the NFL is returning tomorrow. And then more so on Friday and then on Sunday, obviously. But let's dive into the games today. As always, if you want all our best bets, those will be posted in a separate video or will be posted early to our DubClub. I think we're going to have about a 5-pick card because I just finished my couple, I believe. But let's dive into the picks today and let's dive into the games. The first one, Phillies and Blue Jays. First off, we got to give a round of applause to Kyle Schwarber yesterday. A massive day, 5 for 6 with 3 homers. Bro was correct. Now you see an over-under dropping down to 7.5 or 8. I mean, the final score is 10-9 yesterday. In my opinion, this screams a lower scoring game. I do think the Blue Jays got a shot here. Bowden Francis has been about as good as it gets over his last 4 or 5 starts. Christopher Sanchez hasn't been great on the road. I think he does get tagged a little bit here with some hits. His hits allowed line is sitting at 6.5, which is, you don't give 6.5 hits allowed line to guys that they think are going to pitch well. I mean, Corbin is typically a guy they always give the 6.5. So Corbin did pitch well yesterday. We'll talk about him in a little bit. But again, I do like the Blue Jays a little bit here. Not sure I'd really roll with them just because I don't love their bullpen, which is what sold them yesterday. So if I am back in the Blue Jays, it's probably a team total over. I do think this is a lower scoring game, though. I did look at Bowden Francis's over and outs. Like I said, the guy's been insane over his last, 3-4 starts. He's been really, really good. I do think he holds things down. I think we could see maybe the Blue Jays. Maybe sometime look here is Blue Jays +0.5 in the first 5. I think Francis could do his thing, and maybe 2 runs from the Jays should be able to cover that +0.5. I imagine it's probably like -130 if I had to guess. So that's kind of what I lean in that game. Next game, we have the White Sox taking on the Orioles. I mean, we've seen 2 uncompetitive games here. Not that it's a big shock. The O's are -360, and they're taking care of business. I mean, that's what you need to do if you're a good team against a bad team. You got to take care of business. Today, I think this is a lower scoring game. Jonathan Cannon versus Albert Suarez. Now, Suarez has been one of the not biggest stories in the MLB this year, but has been a great story to see. A guy that hasn't really pitched a ton in the majors coming back, and he's just pitched really steady for this Orioles rotation. If they didn't have him, I'm not really sure what the rotation would look like so far this season. He's given them quality start after quality start. On the flip side, Jonathan Cannon has actually not been terrible. 4.7 ERA isn't great. He has some bad starts in there. The O's will be swinging for the fences here today. I mean, they've been able to absolutely crush the White Sox pitching staff recently. Kind of looked at Jonathan Cannon's over and outs. The O's are not typically a team that run up the pitch count. If they're going to rock you, they're getting 6 or 7 earned runs off you, but it's a lot of early swinging, which I think could play to the benefit of Cannon. Plus, you look at the White Sox bullpen has been just absolutely fatigued these first 2 games of the series. I think we could see Jonathan Cannon go over outs. I still obviously lean the Orioles, but I do think this maybe doesn't go over. Yesterday was a 9-0. Kind of leaning under in this game, but I don't think I'd personally take it with that White Sox bullpen looming. But props to the O's. Their bullpen has figured it out. First in bullpen ERA last 14 days. Next game is the Washington Nationals on the road again, taking on the Miami Marlins. The final game in this 2-game short series. Yesterday I was on the over 8 in this game. It pushed at 8. Today you see another total at 8 or 8.5. I put 8.5 because that's what some books are at, but you can get an 8 out there. And I'll let you know right now, I'm going to be on the over in this game. I really think yesterday we kind of got screwed. We got a push, which isn't terrible, but yesterday you saw Patrick Corbin pitch really well, and you just saw the teams not get timely hits. They were 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position yesterday. I think today we'll see plenty of runs. We got Mackenzie Gore versus Viente Biozo. Biozo hasn't been great recently. I'll talk about him more in the best bets video, but I will be on the over in this game. I'm not going to talk about it a ton. I just don't think Mackenzie Gore is great. Biozo has been really bad, giving up a lot of hard contact. Sometimes I think that works in the favor of the Nationals, a team that can put the ball in play. And if you're putting the ball in play, it's going to be a lot of hard contact probably off Biozo. So I do like runs in this game. I'll be on the over 8 in that one as an official pick. The next one, we have Astros taking on the Reds. Arrighetti, who's been lights out his last 2 starts against Nick Martinez. The fact that Reds are still only plus 125 here, Hector Martinez isn't going to pitch too far into this game, and they have clearly the worst bullpen. I think this signifies that Arrietty's given up some runs today. I don't know if it's 3, 4, 5. He's pitched too well his last 2 starts, and we've seen him previously this season have 2 great starts and then what the 7 earned runs. Wouldn't be shocked if that happens here. He's been relying a lot on the strikeouts, and recently we've seen the Reds all season long. Not a great, they strike out a ton. Last 2 weeks haven't been the worst strikeout team. I mean, they're kind of bottom right around 50% in the MLB. If they can avoid striking out to Arrietty, he will get rocked. He's been able to get those Ks these last 2 starts. I could see the Reds getting to him today. Look, the Reds at home against good teams, they seem to show up. It's like you're trying to figure out the games they're trying hard in. This could be one of them. I really like the Reds today. Not try taking plus 125, but maybe fading Arrietty, taking some team totals or something like that. Maybe first 5 team total or Arrietty over and earned runs. I don't mind that play at all. Next game, we have Twins and Rays. We have a high total here, an 8.5, something we haven't seen in a lot of Rays games over the past 2 weeks, especially at home. Right now, if you look at the starting pitching, you'd be like, Austin, those aren't the 2 guys starting. I'm going to project the guys that are going to be the bulk reliever. It appears to be Louis Varland in his 6.14 ERA and Tyler Alexander on the other side in his 5.48 ERA. I have a feeling that is why the 8.5 total exists, because the 2 starters or openers that they'll call them don't have high ERAs. But look, I'm expecting some runs in this game. While the Twins haven't been great against lefties recently, we still know they have the power in there to do damage. They've been one of the best teams against lefties this season. Eventually, those numbers are going to turn around, and Tyler Alexander is terrible. I'll be honest, he's bad. On the flip side, Louis Varland, he's not much better. Now, the Rays aren't great against righties, but I always feel like the Rays take a few games to get going at home. And at home, they're a lot better than they are on the road. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see them put up some runs today. Louis Varland, not a guy I'm really too scared of getting the strikeout. So I do like some runs in this game. Over 8.5, I'm not sure it's my favorite lean or, prediction I've given out on this video, but I do like the over in that game. Next game, we have the Red Sox taking on the Mets. I don't know how one backs the Red Sox confidently right now. They just have not been able to do anything. And against righties, you see their numbers, 29th in batting average, 28th in OPS and WRC+. Just not a team that's swinging hot bats at all. I mean, prior to the last 2 weeks, you'd be like, yeah, they were one of the best offenses. But right now, they're just in a funk. And I don't know if it's really worth jumping out there and trying to back them, not knowing what you're getting. Tyler McGill, I'll be honest, is not very good. Tanner Houck's been solid all season long. He's had some bad starts here and there, but he's been solid. I mean, I could see the Red Sox winning this game. This is personally an avoid for me, a pass. I don't really want to bet on these 2 teams right now. If I had to bet anything, I'd lean the Mets, but I don't like Tyler McGill. Just would probably rather avoid that game, if I'm being honest. Finally, we have Rockies and Braves. Everyone's looking forward to this game. Bradley Blaylock versus Charlie Morton. Now, Morton Ks, I think he has 8 Ks and 3 straight against the Rockies, a team that strikes out a ton. Braves didn't get a ton going yesterday against Kyle Freeland. I know they did win that game. What was it, 3-0? Yeah, they won it. I think the Rockies can put up some runs here today on Charlie Morton. Just got to be patient. Old man Charlie, he's not been great, but if you're going to swing in the dirt, he'll keep throwing you his curveball. I think we could see the Rockies put up some runs today. I just don't necessarily have a great read on this Braves team. I never really know what I'm getting from them. Blaylock has been solid outside of his last start. I'm probably avoiding that game. Those are 2 teams that your guess is as good as mine. Finally, we have the Guardians and the Royals. I didn't check if this was the final game of this series, but the Royals trying to avoid getting swept. Ben Lively versus Seth Lugo. Seth Lugo is going to be their best chance of avoiding a sweep. I just don't like we talked about this yesterday. I don't like this Royals team. I just don't. Without Vinny Pasquantino in there, when are the timely hits coming? And your guess is as good as mine. Seth Lugo obviously has been very solid all season long, but the innings are starting to catch up to him. It's coming off a very good start versus the Astros, so maybe he's starting to pitch a little bit better, but prior to that, still a 5 ERA in August. Feels like the innings are catching up to him. Ben Lively on the other side hasn't been really good recently. You look at Ben Lively's numbers. I'll pull them up right now. I mean, he gave up 6 earned runs in his last start and then 2 earned runs or more. And I mean, I swear, like 10 straight starts minus a good start in Philly. I lean it over here. I think Seth Lugo gives up some runs. That Royals bullpen is not good. And I think that Ben Lively gives up his runs too. So I like an over 8.5 in that game. Pirates and Cubs are our next game. We have Domingo Germán scheduled to start against Shota Imanaga. Something I don't mind, maybe laddering. Shota Imanaga Ks here. You see that left-handed pitching for the Pirates against lefties. First in Ks, 36.4%. Yeah, that's not great. I wouldn't be surprised if Shota absolutely runs up his K's today. I would be interested to see how they've done against Shota before. Have they faced him? They faced him all the way back in May 18th. He went got 7 strikeouts. Shota's been hit or miss for the K's recently. He's coming off an 8 strikeout game against the Nationals, a team that don't strike out a ton. Wouldn't shock me today if he runs up the strikeouts. I mean, the Pirates, what are we doing here? I do like the Cubs there. Maybe -1.5. I like them against Domingo Germán in that bad bullpen. Cubs will win that one. Cardinals and Brewers are the next game. Sonny Gray versus Colin Ray. We saw these two teams go far into the bullpens yesterday. Would they go into the 11th inning? I need to check these two bullpens to see how they're doing. Cardinals used 5 arms. The Brewers used 6. So I kind of like an over here. Sonny Gray, we've talked about him, not great on the road. Milwaukee hasn't been great against righties recently, but they have the OPS and the power to do damage to Sonny Gray. And I'm sure they've already seen him before. And Colin Ray is just falling off a cliff. The guy can't pitch right now. If you look at his last few starts, he has given up 3, 4, a 0, and then 7 earned runs. So not great numbers there for him. And as we talked about with Sonny Gray, you look at his splits on the road, 5.62 ERA. I like an over. You got fatigued bullpens in here. You've probably had a lot of experience against these two teams. Sonny Gray against the Brewers this year, 2 starts. The one at the Brewers was 6 earned runs. Wouldn't shock me if we see another high-scoring game there. I don't like either of those two pitchers. I think we see runs in that game. Next game, we got the Yankees taking on the Rangers. Yesterday, not a high-scoring game. I mean, I guess the Rangers, we saw a lot of runs late in that game, 7-4 Rangers victory. And when were all these runs scored? The Rangers poured on 4 in the bottom of the 9th. That is how they ended up winning that game. Dang. I mean, that's what the Rangers do. They score late. That's what they've always done all season long. Not a lot of hits through the name. 6 hits yesterday, 7 runs. Okay. Yesterday we saw Soto go hitless. We'll see if he gets back going today. You got Marcus Stroman versus Eovaldi. Playoff Nate, this is not a playoff game, but I always feel like Nate Eovaldi always shows up in the biggest games. Tough matchup here against a very strong Rangers or Yankees lineup against righties. But the fact we're seeing this as a pick'em, something feels off there. I kind of like the Rangers here. I won't lie to you. I don't love betting the Rangers, but hey, they respected our coin a few days ago. I kind of like the Rangers in this spot. Marcus Stroman, you never know what you're getting from him. We could see the Rangers be patient at the plate, get plenty of base runners with them walks and stuff. I like the Rangers on the money line here. Next game, we have the Angels taking on the Dodgers. Man, if they didn't make the Dodgers first 5 team total 2.5 -150, it would be on the card. I think Griffin Canning is terrible. Bro throws it right over the middle of the plate. I think the Dodgers absolutely crushed this team. The only reason I wouldn't back them +1.5 is because right, that's Bryce Miller. Either one of the Millers. I always forget which one's which. I think it's Bobby Miller. He sucks. 7.25 ERA. He is terrible. I do lean runs in this game at 10, 9.5, 10 total. I like the Dodgers. Give me their first 5 team total. I like it -140. Tad juice. That goes to -130 or so. Add it to my card. Tigers taking on the Padres. We have Kiter Montero and the return of Yu Darvish, which we love to see. Right now, these two teams did have the day off yesterday. I do lean the Padres here. I kind of like the -1.5, but I don't think the Padres like winning by more than 1 at home. I just don't think Kiter Montero is all that good. I think we could see the Padres win this game easily. Always scary to back Yu Darvish or any pitcher in their first start back. So I'm avoiding this game, but don't be surprised on the Padres soon. I love that team. They have an absolutely insane lineup right now. Probably wait till Fernando gets back going, but this is the second game back. Should see Profar back in the lineup. That lineup is serious stuff. Next game, we have the Mariners taking on the Athletics. George Kirby versus JP Sears. I like runs in this game. I won't lie to you. I'll have a pick in this one. I'll be on the Oakland side of things, so I'll talk about that in the best bets video a little bit more. George Kirby just has not pitched well recently. JP Sears has been all right. You see the Mariners, not a high batting average versus lefties, but a very high walk percentage and a pretty high OPS and WRC+. They do strike out, though. We know that. The two bullpens, clear advantage goes to the Mariners. So if you want to bet the Mariners on the money line, you can. I just personally would probably lean towards betting something on the A's. I'll talk about that game a little bit more in the best bets video, but I do like an over in this game. And the final game on the slate, D-backs taking on the Giants. The D-backs, they have been honestly one of the best offenses in the league. And they're going up against Hayden Bursaw, a guy that relies heavily on strikeouts. He has been all right. He's not been great. Zach Gallen hasn't been great on the road either. Yesterday we saw a very high scoring game. Could we see more runs in this game? I don't know. I do like the D-backs. I almost took their first 5 team total, which is a little juiced at 1.5, but I don't mind that at all. Kind of like those numbers. So I like the D-backs once again today. And then finally, we will look at we look at some hot and cold hitters. Now, I won't lie to you. I completely forgot to do the slide pre-recording. So I'll throw up all the hot hitters on the screen. Maybe it's pause the video, look at them. I imagine it's going to be a combination of Lawrence Butler. He's probably back on the list. Paul Goldschmidt got a clutch single yesterday. He's on the list. Corbin Carroll probably there. Jordan, Freddie Freeman probably is there too. Those are some hot hitters. Cold hitters, we'll see who's on that list. I forgot to update the list before hitting record, and I don't want to make you waste y'all's time while I go and dig in the numbers. However, we will flip to good and bad matchups. If I'm looking at some good matchups, Aaron Judge, pretty good splits against Evaldi. Have a couple Yankees with pretty good splits here against Evaldi. Marcus Semien has pretty good numbers against Marcus Stroman, so nothing too bad there. Willy Adames, very good splits against Sonny Gray. We'll throw him on there. He's 5 for 12 with 6 walks in there. And Willy Adames, I don't know if he got a hit. I don't think he hit a homer yesterday, but he's been very solid. Other guys on here, Teoscar Hernandez, pretty good splits against Griffin Canning. Like I told you, Griffin Canning is absolutely terrible. And so those are kind of some hot and cold hitter or some good and bad matchups. In terms of guys that haven't seen the opposing pitcher too well, let's put Mr. Julio Rodriguez in there, 3 for 16 against JP Sears. Not great numbers there. Other guys in here, we got Nolan Arenado, 0 for 8 against Colin Ray. That's not great. Other guys, Anthony Volpe's 0 for 8 against Evaldi. Max Muncy, if you want him, he's bad. There's a couple other guys in here. None other big names. So those are kind of the good and bad matchups. Again, sorry I didn't have the official numbers on the screen, but well, they'll be on the screen. I just didn't have them off the top of my head because I forgot to do the slides. But either way, I forgot to mention at the top of the show, if you do me a favor, I will post a video. Right here will be the best bets video. Below it, which I'll update it right now because Best Bets isn't live, will be our NFL futures video. I have 10 futures that I love for the upcoming season, which starts tomorrow. I encourage you to go check it out. We have some long shot parlays like a plus 4,500 parlay. We have a couple long shot straight bets like plus 460, plus 350, things like that. And then we have a couple other straight bets that are like minus 110 and things like that. So I encourage you to check it out. If you haven't clicked it, go check that out. It'll be linked right here. Best Bets video, once it is live, will link there. And then I'll throw our YouTube short over in the other corner. You guys have a wonderful Wednesday. I'll have our Best Bets video live in a little bit. Let's have a day, and I'll see you guys then. Peace.